Hello everyone, this is Oscar from Oscar's Tech, also Not a Grouch on Twitter. You can find me on Empire Avenue, which is what I'm going to be talking to you about today, with the ticker of OG, just the letter O and the letter G. A couple of people asked me, they saw me when I was working on Empire Avenue on my profile and Twitter, and they asked me, how do you move so fast between tabs and open all this stuff and answer questions and all that stuff so quickly? Well, to be honest, that was kind of my secret, but I'm going to show you now how I do it. It's pretty cool, I think, and maybe it will help you out. So, a couple of things that you need to do to set this up. You need to use a browser that supports tabs and that supports multiple, opening multiple tabs with a key, even with a mouse if you want to use your middle click. So if you don't know how to do that, go learn how to do that and then come back, or just ask me and I'll show you. Another thing that you need to do is make sure that you are logged into the websites that you need to work with already, because otherwise some of this will break and then you'll waste a lot of time clicking, and then you'll be having to log into each of those windows and you don't want to do that. In this case, I'm going to be working mainly with Empire Avenue and Twitter. So I'm already logged in. My username is already logged in, and over here I see my profile. So those are the two things that you want to make sure that are done. And then on Empire, for example, which is what we're going to be talking about, you have notifications up here. Notice how many I have. I don't really ever pay attention to this. I have notifications come to my Gmail because that is my central hub of action and reaction. So whenever I need to address something, I expect the website to send me a notification, and that's how I work on it. First step you need to do is to create a filter. Over here on the top, under next to the search, you have create a filter. So what you can do is create a filter for Empire Avenue only, show details. Over here you can select the email address for that company that is sending you stuff that you want to address in this manner. So we'll copy that, create filter, and try that again. Test search. Notice that now the test results show down here, and this is exactly what we want. So after you select that, then we go to the next step. And in my case, once I've determined where the email comes from based on keywords or address or any other criteria that I want to do something with that email. And what I do personally is that I choose to apply a label, and I have a label named at. To me, that means that I have something to do with that email. I'm not going to do it on this show because I've already created that filter. And as you can see, if I go to my act folder down here on the left, I have already a number of emails from Empire Avenue tagged as actionable items. So first set that up. Once you have your email set up to filter that way, then you can start working on the way I'm going to show you. So what I do is I go to the label act, as I showed you just a second ago, and then I go to the very last page. I open the last email that's available, and then I start clicking on the links that take me directly to the action page where I want to be. In this case, this person, Michelle EDH, left me a shout out on my profile. So what I want to do is I want to click on shout out, but I'm not going to do a normal click. What I'm going to do is Command if you're on a Mac, or Control if you're on PC, and hold that down and click on it at the same time. And that's going to open up a new tab like you see up here. So that tab just came up because I held down my command key and clicked on it. And then as soon as I do that, what I do is I'm going to archive this message and remove that label act that's up here at the top. To do that, you can either click on the little X right here or use the keyboard shortcuts that allow you to archive this. And in this case, the keyboard shortcut is the letter Y. Now, let me tell you why keyboard shortcuts are really important. If you really want to be fast in Google and move around, you need to learn keyboard shortcuts. The reason being is that you have 9 fingers available, and I say 9 because one, you have your thumb, actually, sorry, like this. You have your thumb that needs to be on the space bar, and then the other ones give you your keyboard shortcuts. Take a look at the keyboard shortcuts available so you can learn them, but in essence, once you turn them on the labs feature at the top right, which is right over here, once you turn that on, then you can move around almost your entire Gmail system just with your keyboard, making it a lot faster than to click and wait and then go find the button and stuff. You don't even need to look at that. You just click on the letter that archives the message or deletes it, saves it. You can even move to each of the folders and work that way. So I'm going to show you how I move through. I'm going to show you 2 or 3 really slow so you kind of get the hang of it, and then I'm going to fly through about 10 of these to show you the speed. So you notice that I clicked on Shoutout earlier. It opened up this profile and it takes me directly to the Shoutout, right? Over here I already have this open. I just had this open to show you. So I'm going to close Twitter and my blank page. So we so far have one tab open. After you click on the Shoutout profile, on the Shoutout link, then you press the letter Y and it archives that message and sends you to the next one. In this case, it's just an alert that someone bought some shares into me. So I'm going to click on that link, open it up, and now we have 2 tabs open. One of them is a profile, Shoutout. The other one is a profile of the person that bought into me. I don't really care how many they bought in me because I want to really go check out their profile and see if I want to invest in them. So if you care to reciprocate one-to-one when someone buys, then you have to go and open this and do it, go and thank them right away and maybe buy into them right away, because otherwise the way I work would make you forget how many shares they bought in you. But that's not how I work. So I just need to look at their profile and I will reciprocate usually by either liking them, adding them to recommended list, buying more into them, or whatever it is that I want to do. But essentially the key here is open up new tabs like this that are available for the next step. I'm going to open about 10 or 12 of these and then move back into them and go through them. So I showed you how to archive by clicking the X or by pressing the letter Y. I'm going to click on this one just to show you. So click on that and the system moves me to the next message in the queue, which makes it really easy to kind of go through all the messages quickly without having to use this little arrow over here or going back to the label and clicking on the message that you want. So here's another thing where someone invested in me, so I'm going to click on that again, open into a new tab on the background, press Y to archive. Then he left me a shout out. I'm going to click on the shout out, press the Y. And here's another person left me a shout out. I'm going to click on the shout out and press Y. She also bought some shares in me, so I'm going to open their profile, press Y. And this is how I move. And here somebody sent me a reminder. This is actually a Gmail reminder for a calendar event. That's today, I missed it, so archive that. Now someone is following me on Twitter. I want to check that out, but I can see it right here because I have it on the sidebar. If I want to follow, I see the last few tweets that they've sent out. I can also see who's following them, or how many people are following them, how many followers they've got, the number of tweets, and who's following. I'm going to click on display images to show if I recognize those items. I don't really care to follow this right now, so I'm simply going to archive it. I got an alert from Empire Avenue telling me that someone dropped below the price I wanted to, so I'm going to click on that. Because it's an alert, I'm going to forget what I opened this tab for. So in this case, I'm going to go to the tab and open it, see if I want to do anything with that alert. I only own 10 shares, so I'm going to close that tab and go back to this. So I'm going to do a couple more and then show you what the next step is. So press Y, got a missed call, that doesn't matter. So someone invested 2 shares. I don't really care when people invest 2 shares in me. Sorry, I appreciate the intention, but it's just noise and spam for me. Buy a little more and I'll be happy to help you out. In this case though, Ria, she's already bought some stuff in me, so I'm going to go check it out. Maybe she's buying, she's buying 2 or 3 at a time, which is good, but I'm not going to buy anymore until she's able to kind of crank up her stuff, because her stock is in the orange and I don't want to invest in somebody that's already negative and doesn't really have a lot of activity going on. So I'm going to close that and go to Y. So here we have a double one. Because they're both shoutouts, I only have to click on the shoutout once. Again, Command or Control click opens up in a new tab in the background. Press X to delete. Now he also purchased some stuff in me, but because the previous shoutout he told me that I was maxed out, then I'm not going to really do anything with this because I'm already maxed out as well. And since I already opened his profile out, that's where I'm going to thank him about it. So I can simply ignore this. Someone else purchased a share, so now I'm going to start moving a little faster. So I'm going to do Y, profile, Y. Someone sent me a thing, and now because this is YouTube, I don't want to really address this right now. It will break my flow. So what I do is I press another shortcut key, which in this case is the letter K. That moves me to the next message up the queue, leaving this on my apt folder so I can come back to it later when I address YouTube request. So one, you can press the letter K to move you up the ladder to the next message, or you can press the little arrow over here. But again, remember, the whole point of me showing you this is for you to learn your shortcuts and manage a bunch of actions quickly and legitimately on Empire Avenue. This also applies to Twitter, Facebook, or wherever your social network might be. This is really good to know. So I'm not going to ignore her, but I'm going to check it out later, and so I'm going to skip that for now. Here we have a message from 2 people. So again, I'm going to open the profile for each one. Control or Command click opens that up. And I think I've got enough tabs now, if you can see at the very top, that I need to go and address those. So before I do anything more here, I'm going to simply archive this message and go and start going from the right to the left and see what I need to do. In here, Michelle Techie Minx Harris left me a comment, so I'm going to reply to that, leave shout out, and type it out. Thank you. Great. And shout. And that's great. I'm going to see what she owns in me. She owns 25, and I own 25. Why not buy a few more in here? So I'm going to do another 25. And buy. And I don't really leave a shout out there too much time. Now, did you notice how I closed that so fast? In order to close your tabs really quickly without going up here and clicking on the X and all that, that might seem like a negligible amount of time, but when you're moving fast like I move, then it's a significant amount of time. So what you want to do for that is press Command or Control W to close that tab. In this case, Montessori, I've landed on her profile page, which means she bought something in me because I only opened her profile page. It wasn't a shout out and it wasn't a comment to a previous posting. So I'm going to click on the 50 plus to see how many she's bought. She's bought 23, which is good. So I'm going to thank her for the buy. And maybe watch her, maybe do a recommendation. I'll come back to the recommendation later. And again, Command or Control W closes the tab so you can move on to the next one. And notice how after I close the tab, the next one pops into place, and that's why I start all the way to that side and then work my way back, because when I get to the end of it, I'll be back at my Gmail account to start all over. Here's Ebru, and I know she bought and left me shoutouts, which hopefully the shout out will come up in the next few tabs, but I know that she bought in me, so first I'm going to thank her for that. And I'm going to post that shout, maybe click on the watch and see how many she's got in me, how many I have. So just to up the ante, I'm going to buy some more in her, maybe go up to another 25, buy, and close, and then move on to the next one. So now I'm going to go through all of these tabs really without stopping to comment. I'll still speak out loud whatever I'm doing, but I'm going to move really fast through it. Hopefully you can watch and keep up. So again, profile, she bought in me. I'm also going to show you a cool little trick I have to put comments that are random yet unique to each comment. That way I don't have to type in as much. And watch how I do this. I go to the next one, and actually she left a comment, so I'm going to leave a shout out here. Thank you. Shout that out. Go back. Notice how fast I'm closing those tabs. That's a good way, I think. So I'm going to buy here. Oops. That happens sometimes if you've already done what you asked to do, so I'm just going to buy more into her. and moving right along. So now I'm back at this. Somebody listed me, so I'm going to say, click on that again, open a new tab, archive this. Got an achievement, which is great. I can go to Empire and tweet that out, but I'm not going to do that right now. I do it later. Someone wrote me a thing. I'll show you that later. Thanks, Oscar. Left a comment to a posting involved, so I'm going to click on that. Open up a new tab, archive this, move up on this. I've been listed. Great. Then I move up. Move up. So somebody's following me on Twitter again. I'm already following her. Oh, I'm not. So right here, I can just click on follow. I don't have to go to Twitter. I don't have to do anything. This is another cool tool I have. I'll explain in another video, so stay tuned for that. But I just follow right here because I know she's legitimate. I trust her. She has a good amount of tweets, a good amount of followers and following, so I'm going to go with it and follow without even going to Twitter. And I'm going to archive this message so I don't have to see it ever again. By the way, if you don't like archiving messages, you can also delete the message. To delete, of course, you click on the top here, or you can press the pound key. So that means you have to press shift and the number 3 to delete the message. Someone left this in, and another comment, so I'll open up a shout out and archive. Someone left me a video, so I'm going to press Y to archive that. I don't want to see it. Stefano Bossi invested in me, so I'm going to press Y for archive. Move into this. Another listing from the same person, not sure why, so I'm going to press Y. Just moving right along. Another watch list, skip that. And another message. Now remember, these are all my ACT messages that are actionable based on the filters I've created. You can create your own, maybe make one that's exclusive for Empire Avenue, or however you want to work, that's up to you. But again, I've opened a few tabs up here. Now I'm going to go through the same process I showed you a minute ago to handle those. And hopefully this works. I'm sure it went really fast for some of you, but trust me, the techniques I use are very effective. It allows me to move quickly through tabs and be able to invest and reciprocate really, really quickly. Of course, I don't reciprocate just for the sake of it. I do take a look at your profile and see what you're all about. So anyway, I hope you found this useful and informative. I know it's a lot to digest in a few minutes, but let me know in the comments, Empire Avenue, Twitter, or you can even give me a call if you need any help. My number is posted on the screen, on the video, and always available to help if you need any assistance. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Remember, it's OG on Empire Avenue and Not a Grouch on Twitter. Talk to you later. Bye.